Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Racha Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And I wanted to do this lesson. I came across an article earlier today, and boy, man, this TikTok generation, as they call them, they absolutely got to go. Okay, because these are just demons in vessels. All right, they don't think before they act. All right, and their behavior leads to what? Recklessness and endangerment. All right, and then ultimately, what happens when your youth gets to this point? Your nation is pretty much done. Okay, so once they start to, because once the youth are at this level, they grow up with that. There's nobody there to correct them. What do you think happens when they have children? How do you think they're going to bring up their young ones? Because majority of them don't even know how to, because they weren't even brought up the right way. And keep in mind that this is all systematically designed in destroying the whole family household, the family structure, the nuclear homes. All right, it goes into pushing this level of perverseness upon the inhabitants, really, of the world. But it's really worse here in America, especially amongst the different tribes. All right, the Israelites. So the article says, murdered that man for laughs. Shocking video of out-of-control teens in Vegas. Says here, major media outlets with a progressive slant downplay the surge in violent crime in Democratic-controlled cities and counties, and often overlook the growing culture of violence affecting the young generation. And basically what happens in this video, which I'm going to keep on reading, but basically what happens here is that you have two individuals that apparently they stole a car and were just senselessly driving and targeting other vehicles. And then they see a man riding his bike. And I can't play the video, of course, because you know what YouTube is going to do. But I'll link the video or the article in the description box, so you can click on it, scroll through, find the video, and watch it. So they pretty much see this man riding his bike, and you can hear them conversing amongst themselves. They're like, "You ready? You ready?" And then they speed up and they basically hit him while he's riding his bike. So they hit him. He flips over, falls on the side of the road. They keep on driving, and this man ends up dying. All right, so they pretty much just murdered this man. All for what? Absolutely no reason. Right now, obviously through the spirit, we know that this is a form of judgment. But looking at it from the side of, these delinquents, these TikTok generation demons, all right, this is basically what they do. And the Most High is going to bring judgment on a lot of them. Because you think an individual like this is going to be delivered out of here? This is what they spend their time doing. And this is why the scriptures tell us how we are supposed to raise up our children, what we're supposed to teach them, the discipline that you're supposed to instill in them from a youth on up. Do you know why majority of the people that are in these videos or doing the craziest TikTok challenges or whatever it is for clout? Do you want to know why they look like Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans? Because that is the one nation, the main nation, that is undergoing these curses, which is why a lot of the family homes are broken up, to the extent that the youth, the children, are not being disciplined. They're not being raised up in the right and proper way. And so they grow up into demons and gremlins, and they go about causing mischief. And when the time of Jacob's trouble comes, a lot of these individuals, these kids, these TikTok generation, they're gonna get caught up in there. They have absolutely no survival instincts at all, man. Okay, and they're gonna get caught up bad. That's the Lord have mercy on the elect that may be among them. So I'm gonna read a little bit here. It says, while it's too early to tell why the younger generation feels the need to reenact scenes from the video game Grand Theft Auto, a video is going viral this weekend of an incident last month of teens in Las Vegas going on a joyride, senselessly targeting other vehicles, and even intentionally running down a bicyclist. On August 14th, the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department arrested a 17-year-old driver of a Hyundai who fled the scene after intentionally running over and killing Andreas Probst, a retired California police chief. And you can see some of the tweets on here. It says an innocent man was murdered in cold blood while riding his bicycle. The killers joked about it on social media. Yet, where is the media outrage? Now you begin to understand the lie. And when you look at the way they worded on what this is on the Las Vegas Review Journal, the way they worded the headline is retired police chief killed in bike crash, remembered for laugh, love of coffee. Now, clearly, because when you read that, it sounds, oh, maybe he might have crashed, while riding his bike, but he was actually ran over, right? He was hit by a car. So, keep in mind how they decide, how they go about wording also their headlines. A lot of these MSM news articles, how they word their headlines, in particular ways. These people are idiots, man. According to the Las Vegas Review Journal, the teens posted a video of the joyride on social media. What kind of and once again, airheads, man. Police were able to use the video as evidence, which showed the driver intentionally killed Probst. Right? And like I said, when you click the article in the description box, go and take a look. Okay, I guess there's some more videos in here, but unfortunately, like I said, I can't play them. Okay, but here it says, and this youth crime wave has spread to other cities, including Washington, D.C. We have seen a significant uptick in violence over the last 2 to 3 years, and I think it's mostly been exclusively driven by 14 to 21-year-old boys and young men. Let's see. Yeah. So pretty much this is what's going on. And once again, as the scriptures say, right, this is not written there for no reason. Let's get it real quick. Let's go first to the book of Proverbs, chapter 22, verse 6. And it reads, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. So when you discipline a child from the youth, because when the child is born, you as a parent have a very big responsibility. There is no undo button when you have a child. There is no go back. This kid is 18 years old, take him back to 3 years old, teach him the right things, and then have him grow up again. That's not how it works. So oftentimes the things that these children are taught and raised up with, that is what they know. That is what sticks to them. That is what registers. Okay, when you have a fresh piece of paper, for example, and you draw an image on it, that first image you draw on it is the original. That's what's gonna stay there. You can try to erase it, but when you erase it and you draw something else over it, it's not the same anymore. Okay, now you got these erase marks, these lines, and all these things. That's basically what it's like trying to teach an adult the things that they should have learned as a child. Most cases, it doesn't work out. And that's why it's very important, as the scriptures tell us. And I'm going to read the same verse again in the NLT. Direct your children onto the right path, and when they are older, they will not leave it. So when you have children or kids or delinquents going about robbing, doing joyrides, running people over, murdering people and all of that, clearly they weren't brought up the right way. And that reflects upon the parents. But then again, maybe the parents were also just like the children, which had a lack of discipline. But you may look at the parents and try to blame them and keep going up that cycle. But ultimately, there's a source. Now, we know that we're under the curses of the Heavenly Father. However, there is a source. What happens when you try to discipline your child? The way that they're disciplined in the East or in, these other countries where they're not overly sensitive like they are here in the U.S. When you try to discipline your child that way over here, they will either take your child away from you, call child services, whatever the case is. Obviously, we're not talking about abuse here. We're talking about discipline, right? Because of that, even parents that want to discipline their children, they're not able to properly instill that fear within them. On top of that, a lot of family households are really just a lot of women, mothers, because the father's not there for whatever many reasons they are. Not saying all households are like that. Now, even in some that the father is there, sometimes he's not an actual man. Sometimes he is soft. Sometimes he doesn't have that masculine energy to put his foot down and raise the child in the right way. So there are a lot of factors that end up coming together and causing this sort of failed, upbringing, lack of discipline. And if the children are not being trained up, being groomed in the right way from a youth on up, they pick up whatever, be it from the TV, from video games, from the streets, from their friends, and that becomes their character. That becomes who they are and what they do. And eventually, when they get old enough to have kids, guess what? They're going to pass on down. All right. And that's why it's very important, as the scriptures say, to train up your child in the way they should go. And that's really according to the Holy Scriptures. That is your basis for what is right versus what is wrong. Now let's go to the book of Proverbs 29 and 15. This is Proverbs chapter 29, verse 15. The rod and reproof give wisdom, but a child left to himself bringeth his mother to shame. You hear that? In the NLT it says, or it reads, to discipline a child produces wisdom, but a mother is disgraced by an undisciplined child, because that undisciplined child is going to go and bring trouble, not only upon the child himself, but upon the family. Okay. And why does it say the mother? Because most of the time, the mother, from when the child was a youth or a baby growing up to a certain age, the mother was the one that really nurtured them, that was supposed to, teach them these little things here and there. Of course, the father was involved too. But when you go back to the ancient world, it was at a certain age when the boy was became a man. He would, learn these different things of how to actually be a man. But when he's a little child and a little baby and the little this, that, and the third, that's really where the mother takes place. Okay. But as it says, a child left to himself. And there's another precept, which I'm going to get real quick in the book of Sirach. 1 second. All right. All right. This is Sirach chapter 30, verse 8. An horse not broken becometh headstrong, and a child left to himself will be willful. And once again, that's what you see right there. That was willful. They were doing whatever it is they wanted to do without a sense of discipline or direction or even the thought of consequences. And then they were dumb enough to go and post it up online and incriminate themselves. See, absolutely no form of discretion or wisdom or remorse, for that matter. So just complete demons. And what's going to happen? What's going to happen to these demons when the time of Jacob's trouble comes? They're going to get that ultimate discipline, because they're a part of those that are given a bad name to the Heavenly Father. Verse 9, conquer thy child, and he shall make thee afraid. Play with him, and he will bring thee to heaviness. So your child is not your best friend. Your child is not supposed to be, you're not supposed to be friends with your child. Okay? Your child is supposed to respect you and fear you. And once again, I'm not saying go and be a lion in your own house or be abusive, but your child should have a level of fear and respect for you as their parent. And that should stick whether they are 2 or 5, 15, 50, or 90 years old. They should always have that. And if you instill that in them from a youth, they will have that. Because if not, remember, there's a saying, familiarity breeds contempt. So when 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 you get too familiar with your child, they will lose respect for you because they'll forget their place. They'll think you're just a friend, you know, and they will lack that sternness, that discipline that that they should have, that respect that they should have for you as their parent, as a reminder that you're not their friend, you're not their buddy. Okay. Verse 10: Laugh not with him, lest thou have sorrow with him, and lest thou gnash thy teeth in the end. It doesn't mean that you can't smile at your child at all or laugh with your child at all, but what it means is don't be, once again, like you're their best friend, because they will start to see you on the same level as themselves, and that respect factor is going to diminish. And you know what's going to come in its place? Disrespect. Okay? Because then you're behaving like their peer, so they're going to treat you like their peer. And that's why it says, lest thou have sorrow with him, and lest thou gnash thy teeth in the end. You know, you're like, damn, you know, I messed up. And like I said before, there is no undo button with this. Verse 11: Give him no liberty in his youth, and wink not at his follies. So don't let him slide. Don't cut him slack when, no. Okay, if it's A, then it's A. If it's B, then it's B. You gotta show them the right way. Because when they grow up, that it becomes who they are. That's what they keep in mind, for the most part. Now, if they're just you do the best you can, but if they just have the spirit of a complete demon, then that's another story. Okay. And it says, wink not at his follies, because they will go from follies of a child, but when they're an adult, those follies are not really funny anymore. They become dangerous. Like I just read in this article. Bow down his neck while he is young, and beat him on the sides while he is a child, lest he wax stubborn, and be disobedient unto thee, and so bring sorrow to thine heart. Chastise thy son, and hold him to labor, lest his lewd behavior be an offense unto thee. And ultimately, once again, this TikTok generation, they're lacking in that. Okay, they're lacking in that hardcore, and that's why you're seeing the world look the way it is now. This is what happens when you have a lack of discipline in the family homes. But like I said, when the time of all hell breaking loose comes, when the time of great judgment comes upon this place, that's all going to be fixed. You know, that's all going to be fixed swiftly too. So with that, I'm going to end it here. Lord willing, this is edifying to the elect. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachak Wadash. Until next time, Shalom.